seems like a news-heavy day as well as an event-heavy day indeed, because there are a lot of cues to be watched out for. When it comes to the Indian markets today, we will have the AMFI data. Let's see how that pans out. Industrial production number will be out, as well as CPI will also be key to watch out for. And from the US markets, they will also be releasing the CPI number, so let's watch out for that. And Japan will come out with their PPI number. In some of the global earnings, it's Porsche that will come out with the earnings, so all eyes on that. And back home, watch out for Hutco, because the board will mull further fundraising plans. Let's watch out what the decision is. And some of the other events, it's SpaceX to launch Crew 10 missions to International Space Station. So these are the few headlines that we are looking out for.
Alright, then moving on, let's get you some more news and headlines. A slew of headlines from the West this morning. Ontario Premier Doug Ford has announced the suspension of his province's planned 25% surcharge on electricity exported to the United States. Now, this after the United States Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has agreed to renew trade talks between the two sides. Ford, in fact, has said that he and Lutnick had a productive conversation about the economic relationship between the United States and Canada.
But meanwhile, US President Donald Trump backtracked on his plans to double US tariffs on Canadian steel and metal imports to 50% just hours after threatening them. Now, tariffs of 25% are still going ahead and will take effect from 12th of March. Now, the move comes after the Premium of Ontario suspended new charges of 25% on electricity that it sends to some northern states in the US hours after Trump threatened to sharply increase his tariffs on the country.
Alright, then moving on, big headline from Salesforce coming in this morning. The company has announced plans to invest $1 billion in Singapore over the next 5 years. The cloud software giant, in fact, said that the investment is designed to accelerate the country's digital transformation and the adoption of Salesforce's flagship AI offering, Agentforce. In fact, the company also said that Agentforce can help Singapore rapidly expand its labor force in several key service and public sector roles at a time when the country is grappling with an aging population and declining birth rates.
For shifting focus then, global EV sales rose by 49% in February year-on-year to 1.2 million. However, researchers have said that the figure was distorted by the timing of Chinese New Year. Because of the timing of Chinese New Year holidays this year, China recorded a yearly increase of 76% in February and of 35% for the first 2 months of the year. Sales in Europe were up 19% in the month compared with a year earlier, while sales in Germany are up 40% in the first 2 months of 2025. But meanwhile, North America's EV sales grew by 17% in the month from a year before.
Alright, then let's move on to some key geopolitical updates. Then Ukraine has finally endorsed an American proposal for a 30-day ceasefire and agreed to immediate negotiations with Russia in crunch talks in Jeddah after 3 years of grinding war. In fact, a positive response from Ukraine prompted the Trump administration to lift the freeze on military aid. In Washington, Trump said that he was ready to welcome Zelensky back to the White House and may speak to President Vladimir Putin this week as well.